And France has upgraded 4 naval versions of the Rafales. These are called the Rafale Marines to the latest standard and is planning to offer them to the Indian Navy to be tested on board INS Vikrant, the aircraft carrier that gets commissioned next year. Now this is intended to give France an edge, an advantage over the United States, which has offered its F-18 Super Hornet fighter jets to India again for the INS Vikrant. Overall requirement of the Indian Navy is 57 fighter jets for its marine fleet. France feels if it quickly offers these 4 jets, these jets have been upgraded with air-to-air missiles with the latest avionics, it will basically perhaps score a victory and have an edge over the American competitor. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's executive editor Shiv Arur for more on the story. Shiv, tell us more about these upgraded Rafale Marines. What kind of upgradation is taking place? What's the new configuration that's been offered to the Indian Navy?
Well, Gaurav, it's going to be very interesting for the Indian Navy because the Indian Navy has been, hunting the global market for many years now for this kind of distant dream of operating at least 57 deck-based fighters. At a time when the Rafale goes head-to-head with the American F-18 Super Hornet, things have obviously hotted up. Over the last few weeks, in fact, the Rafale has been proving its ski jump capabilities for the Indian Navy in Goa. Later this month, the Super Hornet will be coming to Goa for the same thing. But the big prize is that 57 aircraft order. Now, the French obviously believe that since the Indian Air Force already operates the Rafale, therefore the Rafale should be the logical choice for the Indian Navy because it has benefits of commonality and spare parts and maintenance and things like that. But obviously, the Indian government doesn't quite see it that way. They see, all defense deals as separate. They have a huge political component to them. So therefore, this is not so much, in my view, in the Indian Navy's hands. But I think the French are playing a very, smart move. What they're trying to do is upgrade a small handful of Rafales and kind of quickly deliver them to the Indian Navy, for operations of the INS Vikrant aircraft carrier as soon as it enters service next year as a kind of sweetener, to give the Indian Navy, a close-up access and time on the Rafale with a brand new aircraft carrier, almost like a fait accompli, almost like the Indian Navy, once it tastes these Rafales, will have no choice but to award the entire deal to the French. But I don't know if it will actually go that way.
Okay. 57 aircraft is what the Indian Navy hopes to acquire or wants to acquire. But when it comes to these Rafale Marines with their upgraded avionics and systems on board and air-to-air missiles, how does it compare to the F-18 Super Hornets that the Americans are offering?
Now, let's make no mistake, the Rafale and the Super Hornet are both highly capable, 4+ generation fighter aircraft. They've both seen combat. They're both operational off nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. They've both fired weapons in anger. So these are battle-proven fighter aircraft that we're actually talking about. But even though if you actually compare their capabilities, there are some areas where the Super Hornet vastly trumps the Rafale. There are some areas where the French say that the Rafale is superior to the Super Hornet, whether it is in certain things like weapon carriage capability, the kinds of weapons that can be fired, the modular nature of it, the open source nature of some of the electronics, for the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. But all of that might actually not really finally matter because as you and I know, Gaurav, defense deals and defense procurements in India very rarely come down to the technical capabilities, because when it comes to a comparison of a bunch of aircraft that exceed the kind of expectations and standards that you have, it's ultimately about the political baggage, the political sweetener, the kind of political might that comes behind or in hand with a defense deal. So I think that's where things are going to matter. And let's make no mistake, France and the United States are very big, substantial defense partners to India. So it's a big one, this one.